Welcome to our Crack the Wellness program for the today evening, the Happy Senior program. Okay, so we just have this idea that stress is something in Silicon Valley. We don't even ask, do we have stress? We all are stressed. We just ask how much and what we do with the stress we experience. So we start with the idea always with the mind, and the mind cannot be defined in words, and we can feel and we can tell the functions of the mind. And the most important function of the mind is to protect what you hold yourself to be. That is our own identity and the presence. Now, the management aspect of that is that when we put things into order, coherence, we create the balance of the mind, and then we establish the equilibrium between the mind and the body. We notice that the human body is built for movement, human mind is built for bliss and the stillness. Now in the current era is the opposite, that the human bodies sit in front of the screens whole day and their mind is spinning 1,000 miles per hour. And then that's what creates a lot of dissociation and the problem into our mind and body. We'll take a quick glance at what stress is. It is any action or situation which places special physical or psychological demands on an individual. Anything unbalancing which affects the person's equilibrium. Any strong emotion of mind which can cause the stress. And then it is the response to the pressure. Stress means internal or external events which pose a threat to the integrity of the organism. These are different ideas to explain. Now, for convenience, we have divided the stress into two kinds of stress. One is the eustress and the one is the distress. Eustress is a positive kind of stress, and it manifests as these qualities, beautiful qualities. We cherish joy, happiness, contentment, relief, easiness, relaxation. Distress can have a opposite impact. It can cause the strain, anger, frustration, tension, agitation, and so on. Now, we can identify the common areas of stress. So the one can be physical, the body. Second one is our mind. And then the third one, it also can affect us on the intellect and the emotional levels. So when we look at our physical body, the body level, the health, food habits, working environment, lifestyle, these are the common areas. So the mind, it is related to the emotional stress, and these are the negative tendencies as you see: lust, greed, hatred, fear, jealousy, depression, competition, aggression, conflicts, worries. So some of these qualities have touched all of us at some point in life. Now the intellect or the buddhi level, we call them ignorance, complexes, egotistical behavior, and so on. That also is related to the same thing. Now disorders due to the stress, we can divide them. It affects our body, somatic level, which affects our mind, psychic level, and then which affects both of them simultaneously, psychosomatic, body and mind. And as most of us know, that most of the conditions what we go through or suffer from, they are essentially psychosomatic. Almost 80% problems are related to the psychosomatic. Ayurveda yoga goes one step further and they call that the prajnaprad. That means the problem actually begins in our consciousness first. And then it starts reciprocating, manifesting on the different areas of the body or the mind. Now the physical stress, can be because of the accidents, burns, major surgeries, infections. They can be taken care after knowing the cause. And if you ignore them for a long period, then they can lead to psychosomatic problems. So long-term pain and chronic condition, as we see, can be one of the simple example of those. Now, psychosomatic stress is the imbalance at the level of the mind and body. Now, psychosomatic stress can come back from the lot of negative environments which are there within or in our environment. Anxiety, worry, too much emotion, depression, competition, just like as we saw before, aggression. Now, role of the mind. So mind plays a very important role in stress. Now, as we already discussed, more than 80% of the ailments are caused due to the imbalance of the mind. And mind is mainly responsible for psychosomatic and psychic disorders. Now, stress might not be apparent all the time, and it can attack if we don't take care of it. In the physical signs of the mental stress, what we see is the excess weight for age and height, high blood pressure, lack of appetite, desire to eat as soon as problem arises, frequent heartburns, chronic diarrhea or constipation, insomnia, feeling of constant fatigue, frequent headache, muscle spasm, shortness of breath, tendency to faint, inability to cry or burst into tears, persistent sexual problems, excessive nervous energy which prevents relaxation, and so on. Now, the mental signs of mental stress, the constant feeling of uneasiness, constant irritability with family, work associates, anxiety about money, fear of disease, dying, then the inability to laugh and smile, feeling of isolation. Now, stress as the weekend approaches, reluctant to take a break or vacation, feeling one can't discuss problem with others or they may not understand my problem. Lack of concentration for a longer period, phobias, fear of heights, enclosed spaces, thunderstorms, earthquakes, natural disasters, feeling of failure, feeling of insecurity. Now, by the time it comes to the surface, the stress can already have led to asthma, diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, spondylitis, heart disease, and so on, psychosomatic conditions or conditions which can get precipitated by the unresolved stress into the background. Now the question comes, can we manage this stress? Yes, is the choice. Now, why it's a choice? That's what our guest speaker is going to shed a light upon. And these two dogs is the one is the darker side and the one is the brighter side. And there is no difference between the inner and outer world. Our mentor always taught us that you live life 200%, 100% inside and 100% outside. So the self-management, what can I do as an individual level? So this is how people usually manage regular food, exercise, sports, yoga, intimacy, vacation, adventures, follow religious practices, rituals, make changes in their lifestyle, and also do some mind-body practices like meditation. So there is these 8 limbs into the yoga, which are integral part of each other. So the yama and niyama, we can call them as administrators for our own individual conduct. And then the physical pose, the pranayama, the breathing techniques, and then the meditation and the higher concentration states of the samadhi. That's how the traditional yoga is looked upon. There are these other concepts which we normally don't go in, but the different body shits, and this is how also some people explore those. Now we clean the body, and do we clean the mind? That becomes the question. Then the second question comes as part of the first one is how to clean the mind. And our speaker is going to walk us through that, how to do that and why we do that. Now, we can briefly say that this whole process is we take the time to know ourselves, know thyself, give adequate deep rest to the mind, and create the deep balance and coherence in our mental self, in our within. Now, meditation is the art of non-doing, and then it's also is a state of being okay, that everything is fine, everything is, there is nothing which is bothering me in the moment, and I'm into a state of total bliss. Now, this is an old saying which I like, so I always use that. What is the problem? There is no problem that you can't solve. And if you can't solve, then it's no more your problem. We need to seek help. So, how to do that is that make life simple, make life easy, follow the daily routines, be truthful, have faith, and then share your love with everyone. Now, somebody might say, living in truth, is it possible? And the answer is yes, it is fully possible. And it actually makes you very powerful. Then we learn to trust ourselves and we trust others around us. We love ourselves, we also love all, and then all will automatically love us back. And the love is the godliness. So we reach to the higher state of the consciousness through the spread of this love within our heart. These are the old saying that when you laugh, the world laughs with you, and when you cry alone. Happiness is in seeing what you have versus a shift from working for happiness to working in happiness. So things are the same, people are the same, I am the same. My attitude has changed because I became happy, blissful within myself. So if I am okay, everything around me is okay.